Okay. So, should we have this group share first? Just whoever decided to?
The patterns and themes that we pulled together, we came up with, we believe our connection here is our students are more reflective, authentic thinkers that are connected through their own personal thoughts and to the whole group through the common language we've blended in using signposts.
Wow.
And we really said authentic. It's been a year like no other.
Really?
Well, so for some of it.
Yeah.
Just using MESA, it just seems like the lessons are, each lesson becomes authentic.
Yeah.
Its own course that the group takes, but being grounded with signposts brings them back together.
Yeah.
And then you have that individual thinking.
Yeah.
You got that.
Wow. It's pretty powerful. Thank you. How about this group?
Well, I would read, but I thought you were going to say it.
Just that our students are getting better at thinking deeper and reflecting more and growing as we become more independent in their thinking.
That's powerful too. And so with both of these sharings, like, I mean, that's huge. So what are some of the things, I'm not sure what these things are, but what are some decisions that you make as teachers that allows the students to be successful at these signposts? What are some things that you are doing? Because in and of themselves, the signposts are wonderful, but I think there are things that probably need to happen. So what are some things that you're doing? Anyone?
You know, like modeling.
Okay.
As a model. Keeping an open mind.
Yeah.
We're reading the common text, because I struggled with the Wonder and Unity 2 for us. They didn't have the copy of the book.
Yeah.
So to me, they need also a bit of a book in their hands.
Yeah. Okay, so they need that
And be able to
physical.
go back to page 47. Let's take it, you know.
Yes.
I didn't feel I had that.
Yep.
piece of the learning.
Yep. Well, and you know what? That's what close reading is, going back in and rereading. And rereading.
Also, the struggle I have with a lot of text learning. I have the Wonder, I have Patchett and I
Yeah.
have all the AR books. A lot of, but fifth graders can do that. They know
Yeah.
which one.
Yeah.
It's like turning the channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of reading.
Well, what you're speaking to is you have a literacy-rich classroom with choice.
Exactly what I have to say. In other words, that's a lot of reading.
Yeah.
I think too, with first grade, I like to kind of front load them a little bit and kind of help them make the connection before we get to the part where they might need a connection. And I might just say, well, this book kind of reminds me of the way Tough Boris had a tough question, you know, or whatever, an aha moment there, you know. So kind of setting them up for success initially so that they could reflect back on what that book was and look for something similar to that in another story that we're reading. So.
You know, sometimes as adults we need that, Stephanie. So, I mean, that's giving, you know, really some common understandings, grounding to help them make the connections. Yeah.
I find having bookmarks with the signposts and the questions for my seventh graders
Yeah.
really gets them using it a lot more. Because they'll notice them on their own, but they won't take the time to ask the question and take it that step further.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if they have that with them or
Yeah.
available.
Yeah. Yeah. A nice little reminder. Yeah.
And I found that since we have to teach with MESA, I couldn't do it during my reading lesson, so I did it with my read aloud, and that's how I introduced it. And now my kids are taking off with it, and I just post the signs. I dummy them down a little bit, just because I thought some of it was too much. And I tried to make it a little more simplified.
And what grade level do you have?
Fourth.
Fourth. And I think Martha's gonna maybe show those. We'll go. Yeah. I don't know if this will show it up here.
So I'll upload this to the website, but Michelle was nice enough to send this to me as a text and an email, so. It's not letting me, I'm not sure why. Maybe I have to download it, but I know, but they're grayed out.
So how many of you have had opportunities to either share with grade level colleagues or even maybe building level colleagues? Have any of you had? Yes?
I just shared, I found the bookmarks too, and we've been reading our literature, just the bookmarks. And I've shared it with one of my colleagues who seemed real open to it, so.
Nice.
Yeah, and she's tried it, so. But I think we need to have more conversation and,
Yeah,
talk more, even for myself, I need that too. But,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Great. Out here, any opportunities?
I recommended it because I teach sixth grade reading and seventh grade reading. I recommended it to the person who does the eighth grade reading class.
Yeah. What did
And
they
then-
say?
She was open to it.
Good.
Yeah, but we haven't had a chance to go further than that, but.
Yeah, yeah. You know, because really what it does then is the kids feel like, oh my gosh, I know this. So it helps to build their understandings.
Yeah. It's too bad it isn't grade level wise. I mean, I'm doing that with my sixth graders, but I don't see all of the seventh graders for reading, so
Oh,
it'll be, well, probably over a third of them, but
yeah, yeah. Well,
just getting it out there.
yeah, it is, it is. It's interesting when Judy Gilhurst, is it Gilhurst?
Griffhorse.
Griffhorst, okay. When she comes, we were was it last week we were at Rockford, they had a PD day, and one of the offerings was Judy with the signpost. So, we'll have to get the skinny on how it went for her and if she had a good turnout. Because people just chose, it was kind of like MRA, so they had a ton of just offerings and, you could have 2 people or you could have a room full, so. Okay,
Nellie,
yeah.
I've never been to an adult book study, that like they might have at libraries and things, read a book, and
Yeah.
what do they call those? I think they're like a book study.
Or book club, yeah.
Wouldn't this be the same type of questions that they might present and talk about at book clubs and things like that?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Because, it's analyzing why a character might do something
Right.
or digging deeper into the meaning of the text.
And I can't help myself sometimes when I'm coaching individuals and they're doing amazing things and I think, oh my gosh, you guys need to read Signposts. But part of it is if you're, it depends on where you're at. It depends on where you're at in your instruction. I think if you're having kids talk, that is huge in and of itself.
Yeah.
But this is giving kids really, I think, a concrete way to think and talk about text.
Well, I noticed that like in Mesa, they have you do some stuff. First, you're supposed to, you're supposed to model it and you read aloud and then do your mini lesson and then they do it. Well, at the times that they have you stop, it's right during the good part of the book and they don't want to stop. Where these, it hits at different moments of the book and it allows you to sail through the good parts.
Yeah,
And the kids like that much better.
yeah.
I've had
Well-
a few, even state that.
Well, and think about yourself when you're reading, and I think it goes back to your word authentic. When you're reading and, you're being asked to stop and sticky note, I mean, how does that feel?
That's why my kids won't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was wondering, you kind of had a sidebar here.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry.
all right, no.
I
Sidebars-
started it, and I'll be the first to admit it.
Sidebars are good.
I was wondering if they had anything for nonfiction.
It's right there, it's the newest stuff that
Oh,
they
you
have
got
right there.
it?
Well, it's
Oh.
very simplified, take a look, someone can read it then. It's being postponed because the gentleman she's writing the book with had a stroke. So things are slowed down, but those are the 6 posts and 2 of them are from fiction. If you wanna read those, go ahead.
Oh, you want me to read them out loud?
Sure, go ahead.
The number
Number
ones,
one,
right?
yeah.
Yep, extreme or absolute language, does the author use language like everybody? And then the other one is an alike moment, when the author tries to show how something is like something else to help the reader understand. Ooh, that could connect to text structures. Experts and amateurs, readers should look at what gives that person the right say something, right to say something?
Yeah.
Critically evaluating
Oh.
quotations and author's expertise, okay. Stats and numbers help the reader visualize contrasts and contradictions, and then again and again. The last 2 signposts are unchanged from the fiction signposts. Much more to come from this wonderful day, it just says. So the 2 are the same,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I just found that yesterday when I was searching deeper, because one person has, where they just have the basic elements of, nonfiction, where you look at the charts and stuff, and things like that. Then another person did a Prezi on, when you do compare and contrast, description and all those types of things that 4th grade starts introducing. And then I found another one that made up some other stuff that was unique too, and then I finally came across that. And it was presented in one of their conferences that they did, but he couldn't be there, and that's why he had a stroke, because it said that right in there. So that's the new me. So next year you can do that.
Yeah. Well, stay tuned. So, Mark, we're going to take this to you now, I think. Okay, come on. Come on.
Okay.